Hi, it's Ashley, and I am here to share a quick tutorial with you for my layout for the cut shop Shine today, and I'm using the new Say the Word cut file set that's in the shop. I'm going to show you how I use this cut file set to create a background for my layout. So I'm just going to start by opening the cut file set here in Silhouette Studio, and I'm opening the PNG format. And so I'm going to go ahead and trace that. So I just go to Object, Trace, and then I'm going to do Select Trace Area and just use my mouse to highlight over the entire cut file, because I'm going to use all of the words from this cut file except for one. So now you can see they're highlighted, and I uncheck the high pass filter box and then click Trace under Apply Trace Method. So now I have my cut lines, and I'm just going to remove the PNG because I won't need that. And so now I'm going to show you how I set up the design for my layout. And so I'm going to release the compound path here because I want to separate those words into individual words. And so what the release compound path does, it just takes all of those apart from one set to individual pieces. And now I want to group the individual words back together. So I'm just highlighting over each set of words and grouping it. And when you do this, you want to make sure you highlight the entire word. You want to get all of those parts, because if you're moving those around and you don't group it back together, you're going to lose all those little inside bits, because release compound path releases all of those pieces. So now I have all of those back together, and I'm just going to delete create because I'm not going to use that. And so now I'm going to just resize it a bit just to make those words a little bit bigger. And now I'm going to show you how I created a diagonal design with the words. And that little green dot there, when you highlight on each of the cut files, it just lets you rotate the file. So I rotated the word, and now I'm drawing a line with the line tool, just a diagonal across the layout to give me a guide on how to line the words up. So you can see I moved Shine there, and I'm going to bring Today over. Those are the words that I'm going to use across the center. And so I'm just going to move that down, and I'm going to move the diagonal line under Shine just so I can use that to line up the other words across that diagonal. And I'm going to repeat that process. I'm just going to copy Shine again, and I'm going to move it over and line it up on that line. I'm just going to do that same process. You'll see I'm just going to do a little bit here. I'm not going to do the full process because it does take a while to get all the words on here and laid out the way that you want them. So that's going to be my center part, and this is actually my title, Shine Today. So I just repeated those two words right there across the center, and I'm just going to mix all the other words on those left and right sides of the diagonal. And so I'm just going to show you a couple more here, and I'm overlapping some of these outside of the cut mat, and I'm going to show you in just a minute what I do to take care of that. Because as you know, your cut line is only going to cut to a certain part on that mat. So I'm going to show you what I did. If you don't do this next step, then it's not going to cut all the way across, and so when you finish cutting, it's going to leave those pieces, they're going to be closed. You're not going to have any separation there. So here's what it looks like all together. And so now I'm going to show you how to crop this so that you'll get lines on those edges along the margin of the page. So what you want to do is click over everything, and you're going to want to click on Create Compound Path. And I'm going to show you what happens if you don't do that in just a minute. So once you have your compound path done, you're going to want to go to the box tool and draw a box inside the margin of the mat. There's a little line there that shows you where it cuts to, so you're going to draw a box. Once you get your box drawn, you're going to highlight over all of that. You want to get everything in there together. And then you're going to go to the Modify tool at the top. And once you go there, you're going to click Crop. And so when you do that, it's going to give you these little cut lines that are on those edges. I accidentally moved Hello. I didn't want to do that. I'm just going to move it down and show you here what that looks like. So now you have cut lines on those edges. So when your words cut, it's going to cut everything. And I'm going to go back here. I'm just kind of going back and undoing those steps, and I'm going to show you what happens if you do not do the compound path first. If you don't select the words and put them in a compound path, but draw the box and crop, you're going to get something a little bit different than what you need. So you can see I'm back to the original, and I'm drawing the box. I don't have these on compound path, so I'm drawing the box there, and I'm going to go back to the Modify window after I highlight everything together. and I'm going to click crop, and this is what happens. You get blank inside. So you need to make sure that you do the compound path first before you draw the box and do the crop. So now I'm going to show you the last step that I did, and this is the step that's going to let me cut the pattern papers that I'm going to put behind the outline of the words. And so what you want to do on these, you want to make sure they're the same size as what you used before, and you're just going to go back and ungroup those, and then you're just going to delete those insides out of each of the words, and that's going to cut to the same size as your other words, so that once you have the pattern papers cut with these, you can just add some adhesive to the outlines of the first ones and then just put this behind it. And you'll see here at the end what my layout looks like with all of the words, and you'll also see the new cut file sets that we have in the shop this week, so you can stop by and check those out. And you can visit the Cut Shop blog at thecutshop.blogspot.com to see all of that. And here I'm just moving these and in sections so that I can put my pattern paper on the mat all at once and cut those all at one time instead of having you do a different pattern paper every time. So like I said, the final layout's coming up here. So thanks for watching today, and I hope to see you for the next video.